All right, let's talk about something we all know. And let's be honest, something we all try to avoid: pain. Our default setting is to see it as an enemy, right? Something to fight or numb or just ignore. But what if there's a totally different way to handle it? Today, we're going to explore a new way to work with pain.
So just for a minute, what if we reframe this entire relationship? I mean, instead of seeing pain as this horrible thing that happens to us, what if we could see it as something we can actually learn from? That's the core idea we're going to be unpacking.
You know, if you've ever tried to meditate, you know exactly what this feels like. You're trying to focus, you're trying to find your zen, and then bam, your knees start screaming at you. And the first thought is usually, I'm failing at this. But this new view suggests it's not a failure at all. It's just part of the process. Especially if that pain goes away after you're done, it's probably not an injury. It's just a sensation popping up from the challenge of being still.
So the goal here isn't to magically make pain disappear. It's about changing our relationship with it. So let's walk through a 3-step method that gives you the tools to do exactly that.
Now, this first step is going to sound a little weird. Don't engage. And you're probably thinking, how can I not engage with something that's demanding all my attention? But the key here isn't to pretend it's not there. It's to acknowledge it, for sure, but without letting it become the only thing in your universe.
This metaphor of the rotten apple really just nails it. The pain is that one bad spot. You see it, you know it's there, but you don't have to keep taking a bite out of it, right? Of course not. You naturally shift your focus to the good, juicy parts of the apple. In this case, that means shifting your focus to other, more comfortable sensations in your body, like the simple feeling of your breath.
And here's the cool part. This is a trainable skill. You're literally building a mental muscle. Every single time you choose to rest your attention on your breath, instead of getting hooked and dragged into the whole drama of the pain, you are making that muscle stronger. You're teaching yourself that you get to choose where your focus goes.
Okay, so in step 2, we shift gears a little bit. We move from just passively observing to taking on a more active role. Your breath is no longer just a place to rest your attention. It actually becomes a tool you can use to interact with the discomfort.
So here's how it works. It's basically a 2-part process. First, you just find that easy, natural flow of your own breath. Get comfortable with it. Then, very gently, you start to imagine or even feel those pleasant, comfortable sensations, moving toward the area of pain. Now, this isn't about forcing it. It's more like allowing a little stream of ease to flow into that spot that feels so tense.
So why does this work? Well, it's because that initial sensation of pain, that's often not the whole story. We add a whole second layer of suffering on top of it, don't we? We unconsciously clench our muscles, we hold our breath, we just tense everything up around the sore spot. This technique is designed to target that secondary tension, and softening it can make a huge difference in how much discomfort you actually feel.
And now for the final step. This is where things get really interesting. Once your concentration is pretty steady, you get to become an investigator. You actually turn toward the pain, but you do it with curiosity instead of fear, and you start asking it some very specific questions.
Think about this question for a second. Is the pain personal? Is it actually aimed at you? Or is it more like rain falling from the sky, just an impersonal event? I mean, rain doesn't care who it lands on, it just falls. When you start to frame the sensation that way, it begins to lose that feeling of being a personal attack.
You know, we often have this unconscious picture of our pain in our heads. By making that image conscious, by actually asking, what does this look like, you suddenly gain some power over it. If you see it as a really tight knot, what happens if you visualize that knot slowly, gently loosening its grip? Suddenly, you're an active participant in shaping your experience, not just a passive victim of it.
The words we use are so important. The word pain is heavy. It comes loaded with all this emotional baggage. Fear, resistance, all our past memories of suffering. But sensation, that's just a neutral, objective word. This simple little change in labeling can create just enough mental space to observe what's happening without piling on all those extra layers of emotion.
Oh, this is such a powerful image for creating distance. Imagine it. You're not driving the car, you're not part of the event, you're just a passenger in the back, simply watching it get smaller and smaller as it recedes into the distance. This kind of visualization can create a profound shift in perspective, from I am in pain to I am observing a sensation.
So this table really sums up the incredible shifts we've been talking about. Through this kind of curious investigation, the entire experience can transform. It goes from being my pain to just a sensation. It stops feeling like a solid, unchanging rock and starts feeling more like a changing, flowing wave.
and you go from feeling like you're trapped inside the pain to realizing you're just watching it from the outside.
Okay, this next question is a little more advanced. It's a bit of a mind bender, but it's really cool. We usually feel like we're above the pain, right? Like we're fighting it or trying to push it down. But what if you could mentally change your position? What if you tried visualizing yourself below the sensation, just letting it float above you? It can radically change your relationship to it, making it feel way less like it's crushing you.
So it's really important to see that these 3 steps, this is way more than just a meditation technique. This is a versatile toolkit. These are mental skills for navigating all kinds of discomfort in your daily life, whether it's physical or emotional.
So let's just quickly recap the big ideas here. First, remember that pain showing up can be totally normal. It's not a sign of failure. You can literally train your mind to create distance from it by focusing on what's pleasant. You can use your breath as a tool to soften all that extra tension we add. You can investigate it with curiosity, not with fear. And maybe most importantly, you always have a choice in how you respond.
And this right here is the fundamental distinction, the heart of it all. The physical sensation, that's one thing. But the mental and emotional suffering, the fear, the resistance, the story we tell ourselves about it, that's a completely separate layer that we add on top. This entire toolkit is designed to help you work with that second layer, because that's often where the real struggle is.
So let's end with one last metaphor. Wrestling with pain is all about opposition, force, and struggle. But dancing with it, that's about partnership, movement, and flow. So the final question to leave you with is this. What could change if you approached your next encounter with discomfort, not as a fight to be won, but as a dance?